Good day, fellow Toastmasters. It's sure nice to see you on this Saturday, July 22nd. We're happy you're here with us. I will be opening our meeting on behalf of our President, Teresa. And at this point in time, it appears Anvitha is our Toastmaster of the day. And Anvitha, if you're ready, I will turn it over to you.
Ancient Chinese made toothbrushes out of bristles of boars. Toothbrushes were also found in the pyramids of ancient Egypt. William Addis of England invented the first modern toothbrush. Walter Hunt invented the safety pin. Louis Waterman created the first practical fountain pen. Nicolas Conte developed the process used to make pencils. Leo Hedrick Bayman invented synthetic plastic. Good day, Toastmasters and your guests. I'm very glad that today's theme is invention because we take all these things for granted without even bothering to find out who invented them. Earlier inventions were simple devices which helped us perform simple tasks. They can be termed as simple machines. Many of the groundbreaking inventions are basic. For example, invention of wheel, which put men in the path of civilization. Many of the wonders which exist today were ridiculed and ignored when they were first developed and tested. For example, the light bulb, which was invented by Thomas Alva Edison in 1879. Wilbur Wright and Orville Wright made their first successful flight on December 17th, 1903. However, they had to convince their attendant to take its photograph because nobody realized its importance back then. Toastmasters, men's creativity has helped him develop so many new things. All we need is a piece of imagination and a pile of junk to invent. Let us use our creativity to create new things. We have a guest here, Emily. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. Anvitha, is that, yes? Is that,
Yes.
Did I pronounce it right? Thank you. Yes, and thank you. I'm best friends with Tristan. And so I came last week and I'm here again. I really enjoyed my time last week. And so I'm looking forward to once again spending this hour with you and learning from all of you. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Emily. Hope you can join our club as a member soon. We don't have a grammarian for today, so we'll move on to the first speaker. Our first speaker is Ditium Sabaria. Mom, grandmom, nanny and friend. Mom, grandmom, nanny and friend, Ditium Sabaria.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmasters of the evening. Yeah, Anvitha. I am 62 years old and I am a grandmother. I would like to know, anybody in the room here is a grandmother or a grandfather? John? Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, we don't have Teresa here, but we have mothers and fathers here. Yeah. Grandmother is 63 years old. And also a mother, a nanny, and also a friend to a 16 years old. Wow, how is that possible? Being a mother, a grandmother, all at the same time. Well, my stepdaughter married at the age of 18. She got a baby boy and divorced a year after. So she moved into our house with her 1-year-old son. So I became a grandmother 15 years ago at 58 years old. Well, I didn't get pregnant to be a mother, but I become an instant mother. At 58, I wouldn't want to be a mother. I wouldn't be able to be carrying a belly at 58 years old because, oh, well, I was still young and dashing, but to have a belly at 58, I think is like unimaginable. So there I was at 58, an instant mother. And I have my stepdaughter with me. She's at home at the same time. But then I find that I was mothering her 1-year-old more than her. She was like the stepmom. And I am actually the step grandmother. But I took on the responsibility of being a mother to Adip that time, a 1-year-old, because I was there, 53 years old, tumbling, balancing and walking the single beam with him, having fun time. While his mother always have harsh words for him when he finds something wrong, and always showing her angry face to the little boy. But I find that that's not good parenting. So I play with him and I always tell him in a positive way when I want to correct him. And I always tell him good things, praise him, then correct him. How we do it in Toastmasters. I have applied it way back. And I find it works with this 1-year-old. Well, Adip was 2 years old and mom was a divorcee at 19. So there, a young girl, 19, beautiful, going around. She was dating. But then I find that Adip was calling Mr. A, Daddy. Mr. B, Papa. And Mr. C, maybe Dad. So I found that that is not right. What values are we instilling in this 2-year-old boy? So I put my foot down and I told the mother, go play the field if you want to, but you're not taking the boy on your dates. Well, she took my word. She didn't take the boy for the dates, but she didn't even take him when she moved out of the house. She loved the boy. So there was an instant mom, grandmother, a nanny, and also a friend to this boy. Well, he's an intelligent and brilliant boy, very smart, but not without his very annoying antics. I think all mothers and fathers know about 2 years old and 3 years old. I remember there was an instant that we were going to be traveling, and he took my newly bought Body Shop body scrub and turned it upside down and emptied the whole bottle. Oh God, I suppose it's normal for any mothers, but an instant mom, I can't take that. So I told him, go to the corner, stay there. There I was packing my things into the car. Then I heard this cute, sweet, pitiful voice that was asking, Nanny, am I done? No, I told him, stay there. And he stayed on. Well, Adip now is 15 years old and he's in boarding school. He turned out to be a fine boy despite all the hardship that he gave me, because I realized that when he was home with me, all the lesson and knowledge that I have from child psychology is totally a different ball game dealing with Adip. Wow, I believe all of you mothers and fathers gone through all this. And it was tough for me, but I took it in stride because I believe if I can do it, if I can groom Adip, even though he's mischievous, but I see that positive side of him, that intelligent in him, that smart in him, and he has special skills with humans and also with adults. and I groom him. And whenever he comes around, follow me for our Toastmasters meeting, he told me, Nanny, I want to be like you. I want to be out there, to be able to speak and to tell people, to inspire people. Wow, I find that it's interesting. And I told him that, yes, you can do it. And I told him, Nanny will always be there for you, to help you to be a better person, to be a better man, and to be inspiring to the world. I believe all of us have children, and all of us want them to be good human. For me, an instant mom, a grandmother, a nanny, and I always will be a friend to my grandson. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmasters of the day, and Vita.
Please give a big round of applause to DTM Sabaria. That was comeback speech. She was delivering a speech after 5 months. You did a great job, Sabaria. And as you said, all of us certainly want to be good humans. Now we will move on to our second speaker, Toastmaster Sanjeev. Better to forget than remember. Better to forget than remember. Toastmaster Sanjeev, over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anvita. Dear Toastmaster, close your eyes and just observe what are the first thoughts comes in your mind. I'm sure some of you mind filled with bad memory, some good memory. The good memory always bring you joy and pleasure, always filled with excitement. On the other hand, bad memory always put you down, put give you sad time, and it really create a lot of anxiety. We don't know how many thoughts keep popping up in mind throughout the day. And if I say you to count those thoughts, it's almost impossible. The story of the, my speech title, that better to forget than remember, it's inspired from one of the recent incident happened in my house. Few days back, one of my friend came with his family to meet our family, and we had a very good time there. Everyone was sitting enjoying the time together, and his wife his wife is very funny. She's very amusing woman. She started making fun out of them, and he made a lead the character to his husband, my friend. He started making a lot of comment on him, and he told that this guy always forget things. He don't remember anything. Last year when we went to India, and there we met a lot of relatives, and when we came back, uh, and when you ask him whom all you met, what you talk, he will not remember. My friend was just smiling at her. He was just enjoying what she was what she was telling at the time. And then when my friend wife stopped, he tell with his opinion, he justified that it's better to forget than remember. Some of the memory, some of the moment in our life is bitter. It is filled with hard time. It is filled with sorrow time, and it's always better to forget those memories. What if we have such kind of system in our mind when we can forget those moments where we suffered, where we somebody made a trouble for us, and then I understand that it's always good to forget the bad past, which will keep us moving all the way in present. So he later on we talk a lot on that thing, and then he told me that I'm right now, I'm these days I'm just trying to forget. I even sometimes I forget, I'm trying to forget the good time as well, because I don't want to keep the past memory with me and fill my mind. I want to empty my mind all the time to get something new to learn something new. And if I go past with those memories, then it will definitely create a problem in my progress. So that's all. This is a kind of story I wanted to tell you. So it's always better to forget than remember. Back to you, Toastmaster Anvita.
Give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Sanjeev. It is always good to forget the bad memories and our bad past because it prevents us from moving forward. Well said, Sanjeev. We have a guest here, Lawrence. Welcome, Lawrence. Would you like to introduce yourself to us?
Yes, I've been there for the third time with you. And I'm very pleased to be able to express myself on here from you all, because it also improved my English on the way I am able to explain myself and to hear from everybody and from different culture. And it's very I learned a lot from you.
Thank you, Lawrence. Please give her a big round of applause. Glad to have you here. Let us move on to our table topic session, which is an impromptu speaking session. Our table topic master is Tristan. Over to you, Tristan. Please give her a big round of applause.
Good day to you, fellow Toastmasters, and especially to our guests, Emily and Lawrence. It's wonderful to have you here today. Our table topic session today is going to be about creation. And in terms of invention, the word invent means to create or to design. Let your imagination flow during table topics. I encourage you to challenge yourself. This will be perhaps a more challenging table topic session. However, please always keep in mind with table topics, you may choose not to specifically talk on the topic that you have chosen, and that is okay. You can then go on your own route and choose to speak about anything you would like. We're going to work on our storytelling skills today. Please choose a number, and that number will hold your invention. And it may also be a wild card where you could choose about your own invention, which will be exciting. Would anybody like to kick us off?
I can volunteer, Tristan.
Anvita, thank you for volunteering. So please share with us, Anvita, a story about your invention. Can you please pick a number 1 through 10?
10.
Excellent. Your item is the race car. Over to you, Anvita.
Imagine yourself sitting in my race car, zooming through space, watching all the planets around you revolving and rotating. Won't it be wonderful? Good day, Toastmasters and guests. The race car which I have invented is a space car. It travels only in space. It's a very simple invention. There is no need of any rocket or rocket launcher or anything like that. You can just go to a car showroom, purchase this car. But the only difference is when you turn on the engine, instead of going horizontally on the road, it immediately becomes vertical and travels upwards. In seconds, you will be in space. You can see the planets, the stars, and even the sun. Don't worry about the rays of the sun because this car of mine has a special shield designed to protect you from the meteors, comets, asteroids, or whatever particles are there in space, and even the all-powerful sunlight. How far can you travel with this space car? That is up to you. There is an internal setting which you can change. For example, if you want to go to Uranus, you just have to turn the accelerator to Uranus and you will be there. And moreover, this space car, it will travel more than the speed of light. So you can go to even Pluto or to another galaxy in a matter of few years. Also, there will be communication available so that you can chat with your friends and family back here. It will just be like a normal phone. Dear Toastmasters, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and buy my invention. It just costs $1 billion. That's it. Over to you, Christian.
Thank you so much, Anvita. You really convinced me. It's wow, what a tremendous invention you have. Traveling faster than the speed of light and being able to chat with friends back home with only $1 billion. Excellent. Let's have someone else volunteer. I think Anvita really set the stage quite well. Somesh, can I call on you to participate?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Fantastic. Pick a number 1 through 10, please. Or excuse me, without 10 now. 10 is not available.
8.
Number 8, excellent. Yeah. Building blocks. Building blocks for Somesh.
What was that? Sorry, I didn't get you.
Building blocks.
Building blocks.
Building blocks.
Building blocks is what everything is made up of. If we don't have building blocks, then we actually do not exist. What do I mean by that? For us to come into existence, we had to have our parents. So our parents are our building blocks in terms of our own existence. And how did our parents came into existence? Their parents were the building blocks. And how did their parents come into existence? Their parents were the building blocks. So building blocks is basically the most important reason for our existence. If we look at the universe, it's quite an interesting phenomena. How many of you have heard about the double slit experiment? Okay, so there is this double slit experiment that has been conducted, I think, in Switzerland, where the scientists are putting in a ray of light through a huge instrument that they have, and they are analyzing that ray of light, how it behaves. And one of the things that they noticed during that experimentation was that when the light is passed without being observed, it goes as a wave. So it has ups and downs, crests and troughs. But when someone observes it, it becomes a straight line. Isn't that amazing? When something is being observed, and this is just light, which contains electrons, protons, neutrons, and how the atom is made up of. It's such an amazing discovery that the building blocks that we have in terms of our own existence, like if we look at our own body, it is made up of cells, and the cells have electrons, protons, and neutrons in them. So the building blocks are responding to observation, right? So what to speak of us as human beings? When we are observed, and when we are observed in the right way, we perform in a way that exceeds our own expectations. Over to you, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you so much, Somesh. Excellent. I love the biological and philosophical approach. Wonderful. All right. Do we have another volunteer? Do I hear John volunteering?
No, I didn't.
Would you like to volunteer? Don't be shy, folks. This is the platform for us to
Go on,
practice,
then.
encourage and strengthen our creativity. What do you say, John?
Go on then.
All right. Please choose a number 1 through 10.
What's gone? 7.
Number 7. Any invention you choose. Tell us about the invention of your choice.
An invention of my, well, I think the ultimate invention was the wheel. Because before the wheel, they were just dragging things around. And sometimes I feel a lot of people nowadays need a wheel because they're dragging things around, but they're not doing it physically, they're doing it in their mind. And I think a wheel is necessary to bring them back to reality. So I think the wheel was the best invention, though I've seen people, and I read the other day that somebody's making a bike with square wheels. And I'm thinking, are we going backwards? Or are we going forwards? And it seems society seems to be taking a backward step, going back to the years and years. And in some cases, it's a good idea. And in other cases, I think it's rubbish. And I just sometimes sit there and watch, what are they doing? And you just get an element of despair in your, in your life to say, well, this is going backwards. We've not moved forward for years. But the wheel has been with us for eternity. I would say 200, 300, 400, 500 years. The wheel has been there. And I don't think you can change it. You can have it small, large, big, small, whatever you want. A wheel will turn, and it's forever turning, just like the wheel of life. So my thingy, but my gamut is that human emotion is like a wheel, and it just keeps going on in life. Your emotions keep going on in life. As I said, it's a gamut that goes on and on and on. So for everybody here, just think of yourself as a wheel. And whatever happens, you just keep going forwards. And don't put the brake on. Just keep going forwards. Back to you, Tristan.
Thanks a lot, John. Beautiful analogy you used. And the wheel dragging things in their mind was an intriguing statement. I'd be interested to learn more about that in the future from your perspective. I'd like to open up the opportunity to Emily and Lawrence. Would either of you ladies be interested in participating in table topics?
Yes, well, I sent on WhatsApp an image of the Earth's view from Mars. I don't know if you saw it on WhatsApp.
I personally have not yet, but would you like to tell us more? You can tell us more about it during table topics if you'd like.
Yes, because I thought it was about imagination, about welfare, about the fact that we are quite alone in the universe. When you see the Earth, or I sent on WhatsApp, you will see it. It was so beautiful and so much space around, and we are so little in the universe. When you see the universe, the Earth from Mars, I thought it was so beautiful. I have some tears. it's not really about invention, but it made my mind a lot with a lot of image on welfare. I don't
That's
know
wonderful. Yeah.
I don't know if
Thank you.
I explained myself correctly.
No, you did a wonderful job, Lawrence. I think you bring up a phenomenal point, and if you'd like to speak a little more to it, you're most welcome to. But it certainly can relate to creativity, invention, and imagination. I just looked at the photo. So the photo is from Mars to Earth, and it is quite a beautiful photo. And
if you look at WhatsApp, you will see it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing with us. Would you like to speak a little more to imagination and creativity and invention?
Yes, regarding invention, it depends on what you do with it. Many people invent a lot of things for the good, and some use them for the bad. And I think it's a really pity. For example, with cyber issues, for example, you always have some hackers and people that always think to make bad things with cyber, with internet and so on. But you have also good things, for example, invention of the printing press that changed the world. With the book and the possibility to keep information from the past. You also have the telephone, who was, I think you said, a groundbreaking innovation. There is also invention from writers who give us a lot of things to imagine with their novels. And for another example from the past, Leonardo da Vinci, who was scientist, mathematician, engineer, inventor, anatomist, sculptor, architect, botanist, musician, writer, and painter. So sometimes people have a lot of imagination.
Yes, that is very true. Thank you so much, Lawrence, for sharing. We appreciate it very much. And thank you for sharing it in WhatsApp. Of course, anybody is always welcome to follow up in WhatsApp with additional information, as Lawrence did today and previously, which has been extremely helpful. Thank you very much, Lawrence. Well done. I'd like to welcome Daphne as well. I don't think she has the availability to have audio, but I would like to just recognize that we see you and it's nice to have you here. If you do happen to have audio, please feel free to introduce yourself if you feel comfortable to do so. And she may not be able to, and that's okay. Welcome, Daphne, for being here at our meeting. Okay. And Emily, would you like a shot at table topics? There's no pressure.
Yes, so I'll give it a whirl. Thank you for the author.
You are welcome. Please choose a number 1 through 10, and I'll let you know which numbers are taken.
Let's go with 2.
Fantastic. So your invention will be cookies. Tell us a little bit more about your invention of cookies. And feel free to take a second or two to think about it. There's no rush. And if you feel stumped, you can always redirect yourself anywhere you choose to go.
Thank you for that direction. So it's 3 p.m. and your stomach starts growling and you're hungry, but you can't eat dinner yet because it's not dinner time and it's not lunchtime, but you forgot to eat enough at lunch. So what do? Well, you saw at the local market, the local store, neatly packaged, circular, round, like a wheel, things that they're newfangled things that they're calling cookies. And you think to yourself, well, That won't ruin my appetite for dinner. Let me go get one. This is the newfangled invention called a cookie. So I invented cookies because it is a great breakthrough snack between lunch and dinner for you to consume, but not ruin your appetite for your next important meal. It's shaped like a circle to remind us that it's just like a wheel, and wheels are very important in our civilization, part of our civilization. So this makes you really want to buy cookies the next time you're at the market. Cookies are a great way to connect with one another. Over a cookie and a glass of beverage, you're able to have a short conversation and then move on with your busy day. So the next time you're in a small little market, make sure to pick up a pack of those highly coveted cookies. Back to you, Tristan.
Outstanding job, Emily. And I would like to point out, this is Emily's very first table topics ever. And that was a tremendous job. You even incorporated the wheel, as John spoke about. Terrific.
Thank you.
Absolutely outstanding. Thank you so much, Emily and Lawrence, for your participation. Would anyone else like to give table topics a go? No volunteers? We'll conclude table topics at this time. Thank you all for engaging in creativity, for expanding yourselves, and participating in Table Topics Master, or in Table Topics, excuse me. I will now turn it back over to our Toastmaster, Anvita.
Please give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Christian. Wheels, cookies, building blocks. Thank you, Christian, for encouraging and strengthening all our creativity. Let us move on to our general evaluation session. Over to you, DTM John. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you very much. I'm your general evaluator for tonight. So what I've been doing for the guests is I observe everything that's going on for the next hour that we will be on, and then I will give a report at the end, as well as I now introduce the evaluators. So I will straight away go off with Sabaria's evaluator, and her speech was mum, grandmum, nanny, and friend. And let me introduce Kozul. Kozul, the evaluator of Sabaria, over to you.
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Sabaria, it was really good to see you speak again. You had such a nice, relaxed, smiling approach to your speech. We could really see that this was a topic that was a source of strength for you. It was a topic that meant so much to you and was such a big part of you, and you really let that through in your speech. Your speech really had soul. Your speech was also a story of conflict and resolution. There was a clash of ideals, a clash of values, and you showed how that resulted in, I think, becoming in your care, and how you took on the multiple roles of grandmother, mother, nanny, and friend as a result of how that conflict turned out. So we were really caught up in that story. If it's hard to think of what to improve upon, but I would say if you had more time in your speech, you could have put some details that we are all curious about, such as, did Adip's mother ever come back into his life? Well, what became of her? Did you ever interact with her again? And we would love to hear more stories of Adip. We did hear about the story of him turning up that bottle upside down. But what other charming stories could you share about him that revealed both his emerging personality and your roles as grandmother, mother, and nanny and friend? I want to thank you for giving the story that really revealed the kind of person that you are to us, and what gives you strength, because we all found that inspiring. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Kazel. Very well done there. Very comprehensive evaluation, as usual. And we can rely on Kazel every time to actually give a very good evaluation and bring up all the facts and figures, as well as the ideas to promote a little bit more of speech. So well done there. So our next evaluator to evaluate Sanjeev. Sanjeev was better to forget than to remember. Very iconic there. So Sumesh is the evaluator. So Sumesh, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, and especially Sanjeev. Congratulations on completing the Dynamic Leadership Level 3, the project which is called Inspire Your Audience. Very well done on choosing that subject and informing us about that story. I think it's always good that the speaker tells us a story, because that's what we can relate to whenever we hear something. If someone tells a story, we are really engrossed in terms of where that story is going to go, which direction is it going to take. And it was good that you started off and you helped us understand what had happened. Your friend and his wife had come, and then there was this topic that was spoken about your friend and how the friend reacted and how the conversations took place. It was a very good way of conveying your message about. It's quite an interesting topic as well. You talk about remembering to forget. I'm just paraphrasing it, but it is quite an interesting conundrum here, because on a regular basis, we have got a disposition in terms of, unfortunately, brooding over negative things rather than on positive things. That is an unfortunate human condition that we have. And if some way or the other, if we can watch it, that is the first step in terms of understanding what our emotional position is. And I think you have indirectly conveyed that message that whatever the topic, we just need to move forward. And I think it kind of very nicely came in terms of what John was doing in his topic as well, when he was talking about the wheel and how we should always keep moving forward. So congratulations, Sanjeev. The only recommendation that I would have in terms of making it even better is that you try and bring in some hand gestures and a little bit of vocal variety. If you can have those two things, I think it'll go on to the next level. So thank you so much for the great speech, Sanjeev, and conveying a great message to all of us. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much there, Sumesh. Again, another very good evaluation. And I must say, both the speakers tonight I thought were very, very good. I'm very impressed with Sanjeev, because I saw him when he first joined this club and what he's like now. And he is becoming a very good speaker. So well done, Sanjeev, because I can remember when you first started, I couldn't understand a word you said. But now you're very, very good at explaining yourself and coming up with all these facts and figures that you were doing. So well done, Sanjeev. And I look forward again to both Sabria and Sanjeev's speeches in the future. So well done there. So now I'm going to ask, let's see how we've done on the time management. So I'm going to ask my dear wife, who's sitting next to me here, on the time end, please.
Hey to everyone. What a gamut meeting this is. Let me give the timer's report now. For the first section of the meeting, the speakers, Sabaria, she took 6 minutes and 35 seconds, and the second speaker, 3 minutes and 58 seconds, meaning that he had more time to finish. And for the table topic session, let's give the timing for the speakers. Anvita, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Shomesh, 2 minutes and 27 seconds. John, 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Lawrence, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. I think she started speaking and then a question was asked. So there was a continuation of the speech. Emily, 1 minute and 42 seconds. As for the last section of the meeting, which is the evaluators, Kaushal, 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Somesh, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Over to you, my master JE.
Thank you very much. So well done for everybody in time management. And you can see very well where most of the speakers on the table topics were over the 2 minutes, which shows that they are well aware of time management when they are speaking. So well done on that, as well as the 2 evaluators, 2 minutes and 16, 2 minutes 35. For the speakers, practice, so that you get it up to the 7 minutes that, it says over 5, but try and get it up to 7 minutes, then you know that you've got 30 seconds. But that's all about time management and using your time very well. So I don't believe we've got a grammarian. There's not one in our agenda, so I'm going straight on to my report. And I'll say something about the grammarian. The word of the day was gamut. I think, Fatima, did you use it once?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Fatima used it once and I used it twice. So we were well aware from the agenda that gamut. So next time, I think when we have got an agenda, make sure that you can actually see what the word of the day is, that you can actually use it in your speeches, in your table topics, in your evaluations. Then we can get a little bit lively from there. Okay. So we started dead on time. We're at about 10 minutes before we finish. So well done on that. So we're well within time. The agenda, I think in future, we need to put the agenda into the WhatsApp, because there's no agenda in the WhatsApp. It's been posted to me in my email, but we haven't got it on the WhatsApp, because we can then look at people. It's like from the WhatsApp, I can put it into here. So we can actually put it on the screen for people that are coming into our club, so that they can actually see the agenda. What we say to all our members is to take up the roles where possible. We try where possible to take up the roles. It's like me and Fatima, we're actually in the Maldives now. So we've been really busy running around, meeting people, etc., etc. And we actually 2 minutes before 6, we actually run in and set up our computer, because we was out at another meeting, in a local meeting. So if you can. All right, Daphne, thank you very much for joining us. And I hope you can come back and you can talk the next time. Oh, she's gone, so that's it. So well done for everybody. As I said before, well done for the two speakers. I thought they did very well, and as well as our 2, Kausal and Samesh. If we can have Sabaria and Sanjib next week or the week after to be evaluators. Yeah, because we seem to be getting the same evaluators all the time. And if possible, if we can move it around to give people time to speak, people to do evaluations, people to do other things. As I say, I'm the general evaluator. I could have been the grammarian or something like that. Probably next time I will be the grammarian and the R counter, because we can combine them too. So if we can get that agenda done and put it into the WhatsApp, because normally what I do is I print it out and then I have it in front of me so that I can read it. At the moment, because I'm out from my house in Malaysia, I can't do that. So I've got it on my phone sitting next to me, the agenda. But well done, everybody. Again, a good meeting. We've got a few people missing, and we'll see next week if we can bring a few more people in. I know a few people are very busy. Kathy, I know, is very busy because she's now an area director. She's the president of another club. So she's got quite a few jobs that she's doing, but we hope she can actually participate as much as possible. And let's see. So Lawrence, thank you for coming to see us. And again, it's nice to have people here. Ricky Sue, we haven't seen for some time. And it's nice to see everybody. So I'm now going to hand over, because I believe Trishan had to go. And I will now hand over, because because our president's not here. So we've got the IP president. So I'm going to hand over the Toastmaster of the evening. Yeah, over to you, Anvita.
Thank you, D. Kyung Jung. Please give him a big round of applause. Before we conclude, I would like to request Emily to share her feedback of today's meeting.
Thank you, Anvita. This was once again a very enjoyable meeting to attend. The first meeting I attended last week, I liked it so much that I asked Tristan to share that I could come and observe once again this week. You all are very inspiring to me. I'm an educator, and this is my first experience with Toastmaster, and I can see how empowering this would be to learn from each of you and develop these speaking skills in the education world. And so you all, the phrase like blow my mind, the way you all speak and the way you pass it on to one another is very inspiring. And I would really love to continue to learn from each of you if you'd have me. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank
And back to you, Anvita.
For inspiring all of us with your kind words. Lawrence, if you are here, can you please share your feedback about today's meeting? Okay, I think she's not here. Let us take a group pic.